Electronic commerce or e-commerce is the term used for any type of business or commercial transaction that involves the transfer of products, services, and information over electronic systems such as the internet and other computer networks. Challenges of e-commerce. Following are the major challenges slowing growth of e-commerce. First is poor infrastructure facilities. There are many states and districts deficient in infrastructure facilities such as transport, electricity supply, roads, and etc. Lack in technology. Many states are lagging behind in technology. Many people in rural areas are illiterate. They don't have any knowledge about e-commerce. It is very difficult to make them aware about the importance of e-commerce. Due to illiteracy, they are not able to do transactions through internet. Logistics is a concern for both buyers and sellers. Sellers have to deliver the product safe and secure to the right person and in the right time frame. Regular postal services does not offer an acceptable level of services. Couriers charge high rates and have a limited reach. Insurance for high-value articles leads to higher up costs. Similarly, low-value articles will have significant shipping costs, which will make them costly. Risks in online shopping and quality assurance. There is an inherent risk in online shopping as regards the authenticity of the websites. Fraudsters may imitate websites and hoodwink customers. Collection of payment and transfer of payment. It is difficult to make payments through internet in India due to unstable internet connections and nascent legal structure. Delivery problem. Even when customers place order for the goods or products through internet, there is no guarantee that same products will be delivered. Computer literacy. Only a computer literate person can handle computer and internet. People have to secure their password, which is the weakest link and exposes them to risks of theft and etc. Poor internet connectivity. Connectivity is a major issue faced by individuals as well as companies. Internet connections are still largely violated and unreliable, making online shopping nightmare experience many times. Social and cultural attitudes to e-commerce are another factor inhibiting growth of e-commerce. It is inadequate in payment gateway systems in terms of quality, reliability, and uptime.
Lack of legal framework. Opportunities for e-commerce. E-commerce offer marketing opportunities for manufacturing, retail, and services sectors to promote their goods and services, some of which are leveraging the website for client communication and process automation. Companies and marketers can reduce operating costs and customer acquisition costs. E-commerce can help promote brand and enhance brand image. With proper planning and scalable architecture, e-commerce site can accommodate additional requirements, features, and functionality in the future, making customers make more repeat shopping. Banks are providing smart cards to rural people using RFID technology. Mobile telephony and social sites are major trends influencing people across the country. Faster cellular networks and smartphones equipped with powerful processors that are fueling growth in mobile, while social features such as sharing contents with friends are now commonplace across the web. The combination of mobile and social is a potent one because mobility ups the amount of time consumer spends on the web, while social features increase interactivity with internet content, mobile and social web. Explosive growth and challenges in established markets. E-commerce challenges: cost of establishing an e-commerce business, competition, infrastructure, upgrades and skilled staff availability. Technological challenges: security concerns, bandwidth availability, and integration with existing systems. The popularity of e-commerce makes it an attractive target for criminals, affecting consumers' confidence. Integrating evolving e-commerce technology is costly and complex. Social challenges, consumer privacy concerns, cultural differences, and the need of tailored marketing to diverse audiences. Legal challenges, unresolved legal issues, intellectual property rights, and taxation. The Supreme Court ruling allowing states to collect online sales taxes impacts e-commerce business bottom lines. A business process is a step-by-step outline of specific business function within a company. Business process change can be stressful for employees. Business process automation is a technique that uses computer software to streamline business steps within an organization. A business process change is a modification to a company's existing business process. These changes are designed to improve the performance and productivity of a company.
Steps of business process change. Business managers and employees must be capable of pursuing new opportunities that benefits and ultimately change a business. It's important that a company's people, processes, and systems contribute to business change in a positive way. When the people behind the business are engaged in the decision-making process, they are more willing to embrace change rather than resist it. Implementing business change requires a methodical approach to ensure a project's success. Present a vision. The vision for business change must contribute to the company's overall objectives and goals. During this phase, it's a good idea to interview business leaders to receive their input and concerns on the business change being considered. Analyze key stakeholders. Communicate with key departments or employees on the business change plan. Gain an understanding of what these different stakeholders' needs are and what they are willing to participate in. Align business leaders. When business managers support and agree with the need for change, project success increases and certain steps may even be skipped. Maintain frequent communication with business leaders on ongoing developments and project status. Create a plan for change. Devise a plan with a timeline that includes activities, milestones, and deliverables that implement the desired business change and move the company into a new enhanced state. Communicate value of change. The analysis of key stakeholders determines what departments and employees need to know and best way to communicate with them. Communications should keep stakeholders informed at the value of being created by the business change. Identify early change adopters. Adopters tend to be the first employees to understand and adopt the business change and can also provide training other stakeholders. Early adopters can assist in maintaining communication channels open and obtaining stakeholder support as change is underway. Create a support system. A support system needs to be present to implement the change and train employees on new systems and processes. The different stakeholders must have their needs met in ways that are relevant to them. For example, administrative employees can be trained through an online webinar, while production workers may need a more hands-on approach. Rules and standards governing the business change helps ensure that the quality standards are met and the business change plan put into place is accomplishing its objectives. Rules should define how decisions are made and stakeholder roles and responsibilities during implementation. Increase business alignment. To fully realize a business change, the entire business should support and contribute to its value. People, processes, technology, and systems should reflect and carry out the business new strategies and priorities. Evaluate risks. diagnose the risks involved in the business change, and determine how to manage it. Enabling business process change. World-class organizations leverage business process change as a means to improve performance, reduce costs, and increase profitability. Variety of business process tools. There are dozens of different software tools available for business process change projects. Figure 15.1 shows how BP Trends defines the business process software market. The overlapping circle suggests that many products combine features from different technologies. In many cases, the software vendors began by offering one type of tool, say, a business rule tool, and then as the market evolved, repositioned themselves and offered something else by becoming a business process management tool, or BPMS vendor. External indicators of destructive channel conflict. Border wars. This occurs when multiple members of the channel network compete for the same sale in the same account. Emotion. A necessary component of good channel management strategy is controlling the degree of emotion from the channel. Customer satisfaction. Conflict can erode customer satisfaction for two reasons. Customers will start to experience redundant buying costs when forced to deal with multiple channels offering essentially the same solutions in sales situations. Competing channels focus on easy ways to win the sale in a conflict situation, such as dropping price, and begin to ignore less evident customer buying requirements. Channel conflict solutions. Channel conflict is an integral part of your channel strategy, so you must examine your market position and channel strategy before attempting to manage it. Taking a closer look at the problem often reveals that the perceived channel conflict issue masks a larger channel strategy issue. So prior to executing solutions to address channel conflict, the manufacturer is encouraged to examine all elements of its overall channel strategy, including pricing, end-user segmentation, channel support programs, company policies, and etc. Destructive channel conflict is managed through economics and structural controls. Dual compensation. It's applied when conflict exists between direct and indirect channels. Activity-based compensation or discount. It is used to manage cross-channel conflict or conflict between channels of differing cost structures and capability. Shared cost key difference between this concept and functional discounts is that functional discounts compensate the channel for incremental tasks via a discount on products sold, while shared costs pay directly for the tasks. Structural controls are only as effective as their enforcement. Accounts usually named or ease. Franchising by product line or category across your company's offerings. Legal source. When the conflict becomes crucial and cannot be resolved through any above-mentioned ways, the channel partners may decide to file a lawsuit. Causes of channel conflict. Following are some of the causes that give birth to channel conflicts. First is goal incompatibility. Different partners in the channel of distribution have different goals that may or may not coincide with each other and thus result in conflict. Different perceptions. The channel partners may have different perceptions about the market conditions that hampers the business as a whole, thereby leading to the conflict. Manufacturer dominating the intermediaries. The intermediaries such as the wholesaler, distributor, retailer, and etc. carries the process of distribution of goods and services for the manufacturer. Lack of communication. This is one of the major reasons that aids to the conflict among the channel partners. If any partner is not communicated about any changes on time, will hamper the distribution process and it will result in disparity. Managing the channel conflict. In order to overcome destructive channel conflict, some solutions are giving subordinate goals. The channel partners must decide a single goal in terms of either increased market share, survival, profit maximization, high quality, customer satisfaction, etc., with the intention to avoid conflicts. Exchanging employees. One of the best ways to escape channel conflict is to swap employees between different levels. Trade associations. Another way to overcome the channel conflict is to form the association between the channel partners, co-optation. Under this, any leader or an expert in another organization is included in the advisory committee. Board of directors or grievance redressal committees to reduce the conflicts through their expert opinions. Diplomacy. Mediation and arbitration. When the conflict becomes critical, then partners have to resort to one of those methods.
Legal and regulatory environment for e-commerce. Electronic commerce is not only challenging traditional business methods, but is also having a massive impact on consumers' habits. The growing importance of e-commerce and spreading of the internet, which is having profound changes on almost all aspects of our society and life, has recently called for the drafting of new legal instruments, both at global and European level.
Channel conflict. A channel conflict is a type of event in which different functions within a business operation may be perceived as a being direction competition, creating some degree of conflict between each of the areas managing those functions. Channel conflict can be some serious since the effect can be either each of the function in some manner resulting in residing the productivity of each of the affected areas. Resulting of the conflict between the channel partner is very important if the company is to avoid duplicating effort, wasting resources, and reach its full potential. One of the most example of channel conflict has to do with the sale and marketing strategies employed by the company. This is especially when through the business model provides for several different sales efforts, such as direct sales initiative involving a sales teamwork, specific geographic territories, a telemarketing team, and a team and focus that generate an internet direct mail efforts. When these efforts function more or less independently, there is some potential for more as to which effort actually result in the closing of the deal with a new customer. Only by one structuring overall sales effort that each team is targeting different sectors of the target customer base can this avoided eliminate the potential channel conflict that waste the company resources. Channel conflict can also involve the sales effort of the company and its supplier or vendors. In this scenario, the company may purchase product from the supplier for the express purpose of marketing those products to the customer who would otherwise buy directly from the supplier. Assuming that the company purchased the product of the volume discount that are considerably lower than the retail price, the supplier would offer to smaller customer. This could undercut the market share. The supplier and the overtime cripple the business to the point that the vendors can no longer afford to remain in business. Third example of channel conflict has to do with the company intentionally by choosing to bypass its usual channel for selling products, effectively draining the relationship with a certain channel partners. For example, a manufacturer may have an agreement with a reseller to sell its product in the retailer's stores. By also entering into an agreement with a direct competitor of the retailer and offering more advantageous prices, the effort could diminish the income stream produced by the retailer sales. In this scenario, there is a potential for those retailers to see lower sales on only the product provided by the company, but also related product the customer would likely also buy, since those customers are now migrating the competition with the lower price. In order to keep channel conflict to a minimum, managing relationship effectively is key. When the conflict are within the company structure itself, steps by the taken coordinate effort so that each of the operation can function maximum efficiently without creating distress to other area. When the channel conflict involves the vendor partners making to assess the outcome of dealing with multiple retailers for the same product lines. Sometimes by agreeing to keep retail prices for all suppliers within a certain range will help to resolve the conflict and allow each other partner to compete on a more or less even footing. Channel conflict can be defined as a scenario where the two different channels compete for the same sale within the same brand. Conflict can take the form of direct sales from competing with two independent distributors, two different types of competing distributors, two like distributors competing for the same sales, or all of the above. A few pack of achieving an appropriate balance between coverage and conflict. Lack of any challenge conflict in a marketing strategy usually indicates gaps in market coverage. Conflict cannot be eliminated. The goal of marketing management must be to optimize market coverage and manage a healthy level of channel conflict so that it does not become a destructive market share erosion or declining street prices are evidence of channel conflict. It is become destructive channel are responding to expensive competition by de-optimizing the brand by giving away too much in order to keep an account. Every manufacturer will likely face destructive channel conflict at some point. As markets evolve and mature, many manufacturers will be required to add new lower-cost channel in order to cover all major market segments. Often, destructive conflict arise because change in the manufacturer go-to-market strategy lacks the market change associated with market evolution. Types of channel conflict. The three types of channel conflict which can occur are horizontal channel conflict. One of the most common type of the conflict are to occur the horizontal ones. Horizontal channel conflict is a conflict between two players at same level in the distribution channel. So a conflict between a two distributor or conflict between two retailers known as horizontal channel conflict. Example of horizontal channel conflict. There are two stores in a region which are given a territory each. Store 1 is given territory 1, Store 2 is given territory 2. Now the channel conflict occurs when Store 1 services customer from territory 2 or vice versa. This means that the channel are not following rules set by the company and hence it is creating conflict. There is a difference between the competition of horizontal channel conflict. If Store 1 and Store 2 were both performing optimally, so they can show the best figures of the company and win the prize for the best channel deal, then they are competitors. However, if they are breaking the company rules, encroaching each other territories, then this is clearly channel conflict. It has to manage by company by setting a rule or policy. Such channel conflict are one of the most common kinds of conflict in channel management. This arises due to the human nature. Distributor in territory 1 might be more aggressive and the one in territory 2 might be passive. Those encroachment happens is not controlled till the distributor raises his voice. Against the injustice, such horizontal channel conflict can happen at various levels in the channel, and it is not necessary that it is happen at retailer level. On the reason be encroachment only vertical channel conflict, where the horizontal channel conflict exists between players within the same level of the distribution channel. The vertical channel conflict happen at the different level of the distribution channel. A typical conflict might be between the retailer and the distributor, or it might be between the distributor, CF, and the company. Example of vertical channel conflict. To motivate each dealer, many ice cream companies provide freezer at discounted price along with ice cream to their retailer. This freezer can use to keep their ice cream at frozen temperature. An ice cream company noticed that Region 1 performing well. It can motivate Region 1 by providing freezer completely free. So it gives freezer for free in a market with ice cream so that ice cream sales rises. It actually does, and because retailers are taking freezer for free, they are stocking more ice cream and selling more ice cream. However, Region 2 gets news that this is happening in Region 1, and the freezer are being provided for free at all retailers in Region 1. The retailers of Region 2 immediately revolt and asking for a further discount on freezers or to give the freezers completely free. They don't understand that sales in Region 2 is already high and margins are low for the company. Ultimately, this creates a vertical channel conflict for the company. Now the company has to decide whether it will support Region 1 or Region 2. As you can see, handling vertical channel conflict is far more difficult for companies as compared for handling horizontal conflict. Horizontal conflict always happen at lower level the company, but vertical channel conflict might involve the manufacturer or the distributor themselves. Hence, managing vertical channel conflict becomes important for the company. Another example of vertical channel conflict is a distributor preferring one retailer over the other. In such case, retailer 1 might get extra credit. He might get delivery faster, he might get further discount, whereas due to whatever reason, retailer 2 will not get such benefit. It might be due to the distributor relationship with retailer 1, or it might be due to the nature of retailer 2. But this can be another lived example of vertical channel conflict. Multiple channel conflict. Because of their very nature, vertical channel conflict happen rarely, but once they happen, they have a long-lasting effect. In the recent decade, we have seen some fantastic example of multi-channel conflict. When small retailers and businessmen were striving in a business, modem tail came in the picture. Large hypermarkets and malls were started where people could do all their shopping. An altogether different distribution channel was created due to their bulk buying power. These hypermarkets were giving huge discounts and making huge sales as well. As a result, many companies were boycotted by small retailers because they felt left out of they could not cope with the real price. With this created huge multiple channel conflict with small retailers standing in unity against the tiny large markets. Ultimately, the companies had to come and settle dispute by maintaining the price across the multiple channels. So they set a standard price of product, whether it was selling in hypermarkets or small retail. Now the same thing is repeating, but the players are the threefold: small business, modern retail, and e-commerce. E-commerce went a step ahead of the modern retail. Even small businessmen got backbone modern retailers by offering even lower prices on online platforms. There was no store to be leased, no rent to be paid, not a dollar to be spent, but only material had to be brought and it had to be shipped. The lower the price of buying, the lower the selling price. In the times of e-commerce, hypermarket had leased huge spaces for which they're paying sky-high rent. When the e-commerce started, hypermarkets dropped a bit in demand, and today all of them are fighting each other. It is a constant multiple channel conflict for each company because if they are lower prices anywhere, it immediately gets public, then the other channels start complaining or demanding lower prices. Furthermore, one of the channels might complain about the other and vice versa. In the end, these are the three types of channel conflict which exists: channel marketing. Horizontal conflict might be quite regular, but its effect will be localized. Vertical conflict is not regular and its effect might be regional. However, Multiple channel conflict generally has a national level effect because it's always occur when the company has made major changes. Recognizing destructive channel conflict. Channel noise regarding conflict always exists. In fact, a lack of channel noise is often an early indicator of coverage gaps in a manufacturer channel strategy. However, it does not mean that your company is experiencing destructive channel conflict just because different internal function or channel members are complaining about lack of manufacturer commitment are comfortable with competition for some sales. Increasing level of
Concept of e-commerce, legal and law. E-commerce transaction should be legally straightforward. You get money upfront for the sale in return for delivery of a product as described within the time frame specified. A standard set of terms and conditions should cover the vast majority of transactions. Your terms and conditions should outline the buyers are entering a contract to when they purchase your goods from your website. Outline the terms of delivery, shipping, refunds, and payments. Exclusions of liability and terms of use for your website. Finally, specify the choice of law and jurisdiction of wherever you're based. This will shift the case of your own legal system so you do not find yourself negotiating some unknown foreign law interpreting your terms in the event of legal issues. While most transactions will be fine, a not insignificant percentage of transactions will be fraudulent. Fraud occurs when a buyer uses false details or someone else's payment information to make a purchase. By the time they are found out, they have already disappeared with your product and you could be left footing the bill. Some fraudsters also order products, says they never arrive and demand a refund, or charge back their credit cards once received the products they have bought. This can be extremely damaging for your website, especially given the often slim operating margins. You can protect yourself from fraud to certain
shipping and delivery policy. A clear defined delivery policy is a must-have so that customers know when to expect their products and how their packages will be delivered. You will need to specify the expected delivery time frames and costs, as well as detailed terms on shipping promotions. By making your shipping information clear on your product pages and within your terms and conditions, you can prevent any problems from arising with disgruntled customers. This means customers are more likely to understand the shipping terms you offer with the security of your agreement to your terms in the event of dispute. Refunds policy. Refunds are an important part of building trust with customers, and you will hamper conversions if you do not recognize that refunds will sometimes be required. It is wise to be liberal in your refunds policy, and you must refund cancelled purchases within the statutory calling-off period, 14 days. You can ask the customer to pay the cost of returns, and you are entitled to expect goods to be returned to you in a merchantable condition.
Protecting interests. Terms and conditions are essential for protecting your business and possibly your personal interests when selling online. In an ideal world, you will never encounter disputes or difficulties in e-commerce. In the real world, it is an absolute guarantee with scale. By taking care of other, drafting your terms and conditions, and consulting a lawyer where the budget allows, you can clearly set out the terms of business and secure agreement from your customers at the point of contract of sales is created. Standard e-commerce terms and conditions. There are a number of clauses that can be found in most terms and conditions, either by virtue of legal necessity or to protect the merchant in the selling process. First, information commensurate with the latest consumer contract regulation. The latest consumer contract regulations stipulate information that must be made clear to the consumer purchasing online via your terms and conditions. These include your contact details, including clarification of your business identity, the products you sell, and how you can be contacted by the customer. This is not optional, so it pays to you to do your homework and what must be included when drafting up your terms and conditions. Limited limitations. Limited liability is a standard practice across most contracts in a bid to limit any future claims and that may arise from the transaction. There are some claims to liability you cannot contract away from, such as those causing death or personal injury, but broad exclusion of other type of damage can be effective in reducing your future obligation and keeping legal costs to an absolute minimum. What happens and who pays for returns? Returns are a fact of life in e-commerce, and it's useful to be upfront about how your returns process work and who bears the cost of return shipping. Specify this within your terms and conditions, even if you have external refunds policy in the place. What happens and who pays for returns? Returns are a fact of life in e-commerce, and it's useful to be upfront about how your returns process work and who bears the cost of return shipping. Specify this within your terms and conditions, even if you have external refunds policy in the place. Jurisdiction, choice of law. Under which laws will be the contract of sales be interpreted? This matter particularly in e-commerce, where you may end up resulting to the lottery of legal system when selling across the EU or indeed the world. Delivery terms. It also useful to take into account your delivery terms or to directly reference your shipping policy if you have one in place. When your customers accept these terms, you can solve so many support issues or refund requests simply by referring to the terms and process laid down in the delivery terms, provided they are fair and reasonable, as you must be all the times in drafting terms relating to customers or consumers you will likely cover back from situation. Data protection is an area of the law all website owners should be mindful of. If you intend to collect personal information about your website visitors, you will need to be registered under the Data Protection Act and to handle your data in compliance with the law of all times. You are not allowed to migrate information collected from your customers or website visitors outside of the EU, and you can only hold information relevant to the needs of your business. Failure to adhere to data protection law can land you in hot water, with fine likely if you can get taken to task. Protecting your customers' privacy online. Online privacy is a big issue, as many e-commerce sites collect and retain personal information about customers. Some of the personal data you will likely to obtain would include customers' name, address, email address, and possibly their credit card and other types of financial information. As the e-commerce site owner, it is your responsibility to ensure their personally identifiable information is protected, and that's when you collect such data, you comply with federal and state privacy law. Online advertising compliance. E-commerce owner must know about the applicable laws for online advertising.